Hello and good evening, everyone. If you can hear my voice loud and clear, please type yes in the chat section for the confirmation. Hello and welcome everyone to the session of tips to prepare for trademark agent examination. All right. So as you know, exam is approaching. Examination is on 6th May 2023. So I have been getting a lot of questions that what we should prepare, what we should not prepare, what are the tips and tricks to prepare for trademark agent examination. Some of you are already enrolled into my mentorship classes and which you are doing it regularly. So you are already on the right pathway. Some students are already new. They are not into our mentoring program, so that will be more helpful for them, people who are joining my session for the first time. But in this session, I'll be more focusing on what are the important things that you should definitely do and you should not leave in your preparation. And chat is open for you to ask as many as questions possible. I want to make it an interactive session and answer your questions. So let's start with the tips and the tricks, okay? Okay, the first is that what is there in the complete syllabus. So you can't hear me? My voice not audible. Can you check the voice? Voice checking. Yes, you can hear. Okay. Is it my voice clear to you? Is it like coming clear? Okay. Thank you, Deepika. In any time you feel my voice is not clear, please, you can tell me that so that I can work on the settings if sometimes settings get disturbed. All right. So what does the syllabus of trademark agent exam contains? So you have to know about Trademark Act 1999 and most importantly Trademark Rules 2017. So if 2017 are the advanced rules of trademark which are amended, which are changed, and they are updated. The last laws which are, if you will read from the general internet, you will see the rules are a little older. There are different forms and fees which are no longer valid. So make sure whenever you are doing a preparation, okay, you are reading the Trademark Rules 2017. Because if you will do a general preparation from the internet, you will find that different places it is written differently because they are according to the old format. Okay, so I want you to take care and follow the newer format, especially the forms which have changed in Trademark Rules 2017. Next important point is what topics are important. Syllabus is very big. There are total 154 sections and 155 rules which are there. But what topics are important that you should, like, if you are starting your preparation today, these are the topics that you should be prioritizing above any other topic. Okay, so the topics which are important in section number 2 is key definitions. That what is a trademark, what is a descriptive trademark, what is the meaning of registered trademark. So the key definitions are important, okay, in section number 2. Then there are different types of trademarks: an ordinary trademark, series of trademarks, certification marks, collective marks, service marks. Because you can expect a lot of MCQ based questions from the different types of trademark in the question paper. Okay. Next topic which is important is that what is the ground of refusal of trademark. So grounds of refusal of trademark, there are 2 different grounds: absolute ground of refusal of trademarks and relative grounds of refusal of trademarks. That are important for you to understand. Don't skip this topic. This comes under section number 9 and 11, and they are important for you to understand, and don't skip this topic. Okay, if you're understanding it, please type yes in the chat section, and everybody is requested to keep their mic on mute so that my voice is more clearer to everyone. Okay. People who have joined us late, what we are doing is that what are the important topics from an examination perspective? Number one, understanding the key definition, because that forms the basics. Then types of trademarks. Okay, types of trademarks are like ordinary trademarks, section number 18, series of trademarks that comes under section 15, collective marks and certification marks. Okay, grounds of refusal are trademarks. So when a trademark is sent for registration, there can be two different grounds of their refusal. One are absolute grounds and one are relative grounds. What does it mean? Absolute ground means that a trademark can be denied a registration when it is not distinct or it is too much descriptive in nature. Then that is an absolute, because that is a fundamental of a trademark. Relative grounds of refusal is when you are comparing 2 or 3 different trademarks and they are identical to each other, right? So that can be a ground of refusal. Then the procedure is important, how to register for trademark in India and what is the procedure for that. There are steps of registration of trademark that you need to be like crystal clear that, okay, these are the steps of the registration. And you need to remember that, okay, these are the steps, this is how it is going to follow in the steps. Okay, so basic steps is that you apply for the application of trademark. That comes under section number 18. I'm sharing, let me share a small mind map through which we study in the class so that people can get a little bit of idea. When you read a Bayer Act as such, right, it is written in black and white and it is written in so many sentences which are difficult to read and interpret. So always follow a flowchart and diagrammatic method. These flowcharts and diagrams are important because you can as it is make in the paper number 2 and they are easy to read and revise. So every procedure which you are reading it, make sure that you have a flowchart ready for it so that it becomes easy for read, because with the flowchart you will find that trademark registration is simple, just there are some steps to it. Okay, so rather than reading lot of sentences coming out what is the method, there are simpler steps in which it can be broken down. If you're understanding it, please type yes in the chat section. Okay, so always make a flowchart and a diagram. In trademark registration, okay, in trademark registration, the first step is that you have to apply for the registration. That comes under section number 18. Then there can be withdrawal of acceptance under section number 19. Application can be accepted in, like, once you submit an application of trademark, okay, under section number 18, that is for ordinary trademark. The next step is that trademark can be accepted wholly, that is completely, or it can be accepted in error. Accepted in error means that registrar wants applicant to come for the hearing because he wants to clarify some of the things, right? So that is the meaning of acceptance in error, and that is subject to the conditions. Okay, that is subject to the conditions, and you can, and every trademark is not registered fully. It is registered with some of the conditions and some of the limitations. So that is the meaning of withdrawal of acceptance. Then there's an advertisement of applications. Once a trademark is registered, that is advertised in the official journal of trademark registry. Okay, and that is and also once it is registered and when it is advertised, the trademark can be advertised that there are some conditions or some limitations put on trademark. So what do you mean by conditions and limitations? You will, when you will read Trademark Act, a lot of places you will read that trademark is accepted with conditions or limitations. So what does this mean? Conditions and limitations can be of varied types. For example, different trademarks can be granted according to different geographical areas. Okay, let's say you and me, we have a trademark. So I may have only trademark rights in Delhi, you have a trademark rights in Maharashtra. So there are always some conditions or limitations. Okay, if there are some errors in the trademark application, then errors can be corrected under section 22 and it can be advertised again. Once the trademark is advertised, then any third party can oppose a trademark. And for opposition, it comes under section 21. The opposition form, which is important, is TMO. O stands for opposition. Then correction or division of trademark can happen using TMM under section number 22. Division happens, what is the concept of division of trademark is that you can apply trademark in different classes. Okay. But let's say you applied in 4 classes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take a random example. Okay. So in 1, 2, 3 classes, your trademark got approved wholly. But in 4 class, you got an opposition. Right? So in that scenario, you can continue with the main applications in classes 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can separate it as a divisional application. That is the meaning of division application in the cases of trademark. And finally, there's a registration certificate TMRG2, section number 23, and the certificate is issued. Trademark can be owned by joint owners, and once a trademark is given, then you have to pay the fees for that. You have to, every trademark is given for 10 years, then you have to give a renewal fees. And if you don't pay the renewal fees, the trademark can be abandoned, and then you have to restore the trademark. That comes under section number 25. The form is TMR. R stands for renewal, restoration after the renewal. Okay, so this whole procedure is important, and I am expecting that in the case study based question, which is paper number 2, I'm expecting surely the questions will come from this. Next important topic is what is the renewal of trademark? What does it mean? Renewal of trademark comes under section number 25, and there's a procedure and there's a form which is TMR that needs to be filled. Next important topic is what is the procedure of Madrid Protocol? What is a Madrid Protocol? Like we did a procedure in India, right? How to do a registration in India. Then there's a procedure how to get an international trademark registered. That happens through Madrid Protocol. This is a very important topic. I am expecting a question out of this. Sorry. Yeah, I'm expecting a case study based question from this. Then how trademarks can be assigned? Let's say trademark belongs to me and I want to assign or transmit. Let's say I die, I have to transmit that as a property to another user. Then how I can do that? What are the powers of registrar to correct the register? Conditions of trademark infringement and powers of registrar. There are many more there are many big topics, but I suggest that these topics are important, and what I've seen in the last paper. So I'm expecting, yes, questions will be there from these topics in the examination. Next important thing is that you should know all the forms. Just a minute. Yes. Sorry. So forms are important. So if you're reading through the internet, make sure that you're not learning the older forms. Many people who are approaching me, they are still reading the forms which are there in before 2017. So don't make this mistake. Learn the forms which are according to rules 2017. The good point is in 2017, forms have been reduced. So there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forms are there to learn. And they are important to learn. Okay. So every form has some purpose. Why forms are important? Because they are associated with certain kind of procedure in the trademark. Okay, so some of the procedure they will ask question, you will know, okay, what is the form, what is the procedure of that? If you are understanding this, type yes in the chat section. That yes, you are understanding that procedures are important. Procedures are important and their associated forms are important. Okay. The goal of today's class is just to give you a gist that in the entire syllabus, which might seem overwhelming to a lot of students, what you can focus on. First, what you should prioritize. Okay. Okay. So after doing the important topics, you can go to the form section that is in the schedule. And what is the purpose of TMA for registration of trademark? TMM is miscellaneous. T is for assignment and transmission. O stands for opposition. Okay. G stands for registration of trademark agent. This is a form which you have filled when you applied for the examination. That is TMG. Okay. Renewal is R, C is search and certificate, and U is registration or cancellation of a registered user. So these forms and their associated sections and their fees is important. How do you learn it? The only way you can learn it by making a flowchart or a mind map. Okay, students who are already doing their mentoring classes with me, I'm sure they are learning through flowchart methods, because with everything, I have created a form. With every form, I have created this kind of mind map for you to learn. For example, TMP, in the form TMP, that is for assignment and transmission, I've created a flowchart because there are different fees which is associated with TMP. How do you learn it? It is in the multiples of 9. The fees start with 9,000. 9 twos are 18, 1800. 9 threes are 27, 2700. 9 tens are is 9,000. And 900 multiplied by 10 is 9,000. So this is how you remember the fees, because there are 4 different fees in TMP and every fees is associated with different kind of procedure. So once you're doing the forms, you have to take care and you have to divide it into the parts so that it becomes easier to read. Okay, so my question to you is, do you think this kind of mind maps are helpful for you to study? Because rather than reading from a table, it is difficult to remember. But once you make these easy looking flowcharts, mind maps, it seems to be simpler. And yes, you can revise with some logic. You can just say that, okay, this is the logic I'm applying. And I can see TMP is divided into 4 different categories. And this is how I'm going to learn the fees and the structure. Okay, so once you are dividing, once you are learning the forms, follow the mind map method. In our class, we are following the mind map methods for everything. For every possible thing, we are making small mind maps so that it becomes easy, though even some of the forms are complex. But my goal is to divide it into easy parts in our classroom so that it becomes easy. Similarly, TMU form, there are some sections which are associated with it. So we have made a small table that how and where it is used and how you can learn it in the mind map section. So similarly, if you are doing my mentoring session, obviously you will have access to all these mind maps through your dashboard. And if you're doing the self-preparation, then I recommend you create your own mind maps on your copy wherever you are studying so that your study becomes simpler and you can remember it. Which sections are important? To revise the section as such. Why section remembering is important? Because when you will do paper number 2, that are case study based question, even if you're giving a right logic, you have to write down under which section this logic applies. Okay, so important sections for you to learn is section number 9, absolute ground of refusal of trademarks. Section number 11, relative grounds of refusal of trademark. Section number 15, series of trademark registration. Series of trademark registration, that means you are registering the trademark in a series. Okay, that is section number 15. Section number 18 is registration of an ordinary trademark. 21 is opposition of trademark. Also, when you read this, you will be able to remember, okay, if it's series of trademark registration, the form is TMA. If it's a normal trademark application, then also the same form applies, that is TMA. If it is opposition stands for O, right? So opposition trademark is TMO. Section number 28 is right conferred by the registration of a trademark, which says that trademark as such a word is not somebody's property, but trademark is always given with some limitations and conditions. That is given under section number 28. Further sections which are important, section number 45, registration of assignment and transmission. The form is TMP. When a trademark is there and somebody is assigning and transmitting it, then section 45 applies. Form uses TMP. The fees is 9,000 rupees. Section number 47 is removal of trademark for non-use. If you're not using a trademark for a long time, it will get removed from the register. Okay. 57 is rectification of register by registrar. The form which is used is TMM for the TMO for the rectification. TMO is the form for rectification of register. 63 is collective mark. 71 is certification mark. So even you register any kind of mark. There are 4 different types of marks which are registered. 15, that is series. 18, which is ordinary. And collective, which is 63, or certification, which is 71. One form applies, that is TMA. Are you understanding this point? If yes, type yes. So whenever you are studying, you should be able to correlate everything, because everything is related. Form, section, rules. So once you bring a correlation between them, you will be able to understand the concept wholly, not in the parts. So that is an ideal form of learning, that you are able to connect it. How you're able to connect it? And once you read a section, you should be able to connect what is a relevant form. If you're reading the forms, you should be able to connect it, which is the section. Vice versa. In both the cases, you should be able to learn and understand it as a whole. Okay, this is like, if you are able to do that, I'm sure you will get highest marks in the exam, because this is the main crux of learning, because everything is related to each other and everything is supported, right? Sections are there, rules are there, forms is there, fees is there, but they are related to each other. So people say me, ma'am, section pade, rule pade, form pade, fees pade, kya padna hai? Everything is related to each other. They are one and same thing. Okay, so you can start by any method and go by any method. You can start by learning the forms. You will read the section number. You will start with section number. You will go to forms. Are you understanding this? If yes, type yes. So I'm trying to give you a little gist that this is important. Okay. Section 127 is power of registrar. 131 is extension of time. And 133 is advised by registrar. Now, why I'm pointing section 131 and 133? Because these are related to TMM. They are miscellaneous. M stands for miscellaneous. अच्छा, एक और tip मैं आपको देना चाहती हूँ. जब आपको कोई भी form याद ना आ रहा हो in the examination, then what is the right form? So, because there are very less forms, then probably it will be TMM, because TMM is miscellaneous. There are a lot of sections and rules under that. So, if you're not able to remember everything, learn every form, you can leave TMM. So, by default, you can say, okay, if no form is fixing here, it will be TMM only. Just a small trick might work. Okay. So, okay. Next is important topic, which I see from MCQ perspective. MCQ perspective in paper number 1. Okay. Yeah. Great. So when I solved all the questions, I understood that if no form is applying, then TMM will be the right answer. So you can learn all the forms, right? TMM ko chhod do, TMM bahut zyada, thoda vast hai. But it will take some time for you to interpret, especially if you're reading on your own without a mentorship. So it becomes a little difficult. Okay, now for MCQs, for the paper number 1, which I'm expecting, there'll be MCQ based question. MCQs based question, you will be given 4 choices and you have to mark the right answer in the MCQs. MCQs I am expecting will be simpler, but of course that will be confusing also, because choices, they make it confusing, right? Choices are not simpler when they give you a choice. So you can expect a lot of questions where they can put up any word and say whether this can be trademarked or not. Okay, so in that you cannot learn for every word that this can be a trademark or not, but you have to understand the basic principle of trademark registration. What is the basic logic? The basic logic for trademark is that it should not be descriptive, right? It should not be descriptive. Invented words get trademark very, very easily. And they are invented. If they are descriptive, they will not get a trademark, and they have to be distinct. For that also, I have created I think some of the illustrations I did in the class. Just let me see if I have that file available with me. Yeah, inventive words are generally when you combine 2 or 3 different words. Okay, and then you can say these words are invented. So invented words generally get trademark. Okay, let me give you an example. These are examples of invented words. Okay, like matke wala for roasted grams, flexi grip for pens, dust stick for adhesive, dropovit for medicinal preparation. Dropovit is drop of vitamin. So there's a word drop of vitamin, and they have combined it to make an invented word dropovit. So if a word you see that is inventive, made up of 2 words, possibly it's an invented word, but it should not be descriptive. Descriptive means, for example, let's say you are a mango seller. Okay, you're a mango seller and you try to trademark the word tasty mangoes or juicy mangoes. Now you're describing and saying my mangoes are juicy and the other seller is not selling the juicy mangoes. So this is a descriptive trademark that will not get a registration. For example, tasty freeze for ice cream. This is descriptive in nature. You will not get a trademark on that. Health for cocoa and chocolate. You will not get a trademark on that, because what do you mean? This cocoa and chocolate which you are selling is healthy and others that are selling are not healthy. So you have to apply this logic when you are answering the questions that whether a particular word can be trademarked or not. Okay. Next is, which are the rules which are important? Look, as such, though, you have to understand every section and rule. Okay. But because we are concising, we are saying what we can learn and what we can leave. Then I would say, if you don't get time to read the rules, you can first focus on sections, you can focus on forms, and then once you get time, you can read at least some of the rules, which I think are important. Rule number 3 is principal place of business. So principal place of business is, for example, if my business is in Delhi, I will file my trademark in the Delhi registry of trademark. So there are different registries according to different jurisdictions of trademark. So according to the place of business of a proprietor, in that region, they file a trademark. Okay. Section 41 is that when a trademark is advertised, what are the things that are advertised? 56 is certificate of trademark. 79 is assignment involving money outside India. When some kind of assignment is happening and money is going outside India, then there's a separate rule for that. Okay, then controller has to see and he can stop that. Rule number 29 is intervention by third parties. 108 is divisional application. Divisional application ka section bhi hai. Or 122 is getting certified copies of documents. Okay, this is associated with TMM. So TMM has got sections and rules. So what I mentioned here, these are the rules of TMM. So remember those rules. But the sequence which you should follow is that first remember what are the important topics, then go to the important forms. Okay? Then go to sections. Once you're thorough with that, then only touch rules. Because I don't want you to get overwhelmed and forget everything. So follow a step-by-step approach. What is important, learn that first, and then you have to keep on revising it. For example, there are forms you cannot learn in one day. Nobody can, right? So the only thing which you can practice is remembering them every day, right? Doing small practice every day in your own handwriting. Just write it down in your own handwriting, make a mind map, and you will be able to learn. Some of the sample questions which I want to give, which you can expect that such type of questions can come in an exam. Let's say the question is, Mr. Prakash is a juice manufacturer. He wants to register the trademark of juice in 20 different, he's making 20 different variety of juices. बहुत सारे juice बना रहा है वो, guava, lychee, mango, oranges, और उसका एक trademark. So what method of trademark he should follow? Anybody knows the answer? Can write down in the chat. Yes, absolutely. This is a series of trademark example. When there's a one product and we are trying to get a series trademark. जैसे आपने real juice देखा, अब real juice guava भी आता है, orange भी आता है, lychee भी आता है. So this is a classic example of series of trademark. Okay. The section which applies here is section number 15. Okay. The firm which applies here is TMA. The fees which is used is 4,500 rupees if you're a startup. If you're a corporate company, then fees is 9,000 rupees. Right. So if this question comes in a 10-mark question, let's say in a case study, so you can write down, okay, because this is a one company which is trying to register different products which are in series, right? So this is a series trademark. And series, as per section 15, you can register a series trademark. The form, you can write down the column, you can make a headings. Section which applies here is section number 15, series of trademark registration. Form which applies is TMA. Fees which is applied here, if it's a startup company, then 4,500. If it's a corporate company, then 9,000. And this application will be filed according to the place of business. So let's say if Prakash's business is in Nagpur, so he will be filing in the Mumbai registry. So likewise, you can give the example. Are you understanding this? This is one of the example of sample question, that what to expect in the examination. Okay. One more question. Just a random question I made so that you can understand that how this will combine in the form of questions. Let's say Mr. Prakash registered a trademark in 1998. Okay. Now today is 2023 going on, but he failed to pay the renewal fees. What are the options in front of him to revive his trademark? Okay. Now 1998 mein tha trademark. Anybody can answer in the chat if you know the answer. That what is a section, what is a form, what is a procedure, anything in one line you can write down in the chat. Okay. So logic here applies is that 1998. Okay. So 10 is more than 10 years and the person has not paid the renewal fees. That means the trademark is lapsed. Okay. So now the person has to restore it and pay the fees. Okay, the section which applies here is section number 25. The form here applies is TMR, and you have to give the restoration fees of 9,000 plus the renewal fees. Total fees will be 18,000 rupees, which needs to be paid in this scenario. Okay, so these types of questions you can expect in case study based question. All right. So I hope you like the session, because I wanted to make a short and concise session for everyone, so that they can understand the logic. Okay, understand the logic, that how to prepare, what are the different and important points you need to take care of. Okay, students, there are some students in the class who are already, I am seeing and meeting them every day. So in the morning sessions. So generally we are doing the morning sessions every day in our class, because lot of the people are working professionals. So we do an early morning class. I know it is difficult for my students to wake up early, but then you have entire day to yourself. Okay, and also one thing, that people who are not in the mentorship program and they still want to enter into mentorship program, because in the last week we'll be starting our quick revision from 24th of April till 30th of April. We are starting our quick revision class. That's like a crash course. Every day there'll be a class of 1 hour, and we will be covering the entire syllabus through mind maps and flowcharts. So people ask me, ma'am, how we will do syllabus in 1 week? We will do syllabus in 1 week because we will follow a different technique. We'll follow the technique of mind maps. So mind maps are helpful because you don't have to then read sections. You don't have to pick up a bare act. Everything which is important, I am making flowcharts and diagram every single day. Every single day, every kind of procedure we are covering through mind maps. Okay. So if you're already my student, then you need not to worry. You will have a last 7 weeks of like a strong dose of a crash course. Okay, people who are not my student, but they want to take up the opportunity to join the mentorship program, they are free to join. And if they are interested, they can just do me a WhatsApp message, mentor, that you are interested for mentorship program, and you can just send it to this mobile number. Just do a WhatsApp. Right now you can do a WhatsApp if you're interested to join a mentorship program for 1 week. That's a crash course type of revision. Okay, my phone is with me. You can do a simpler WhatsApp that you want a mentorship, and you can send it to this number, and I'll be very happy that my team will get connected to you tomorrow and will explain that you want to join it or not. Okay, so again, focusing on the practical aspect, try to learn it, the practical things which are important. And again, because only very less time is remaining, so the point which I want to say is, don't get overwhelmed. Sometimes it happens, we read too much and we get overwhelmed. No, just how you do it, just relax, keep your focus. In 1 day you cannot learn everything. Your focus should be that every day you are making some progress. This should be your focus, that every day you made a progress from a last single day. Okay, so you have around 15 days of time. 15 days of time are enough that you can learn through this methodology. Okay, one last question. One person asked me that to repeat the last question. I can repeat a last question for you, Deepika. Okay, so Deepika was not able to understand the last question. The last question is, Mr. Prakash registered a trademark in 1998. He failed to pay the renewal fees. What are the options in front of him to revive a trademark? So Deepika, trademark is given for 10 years of time. Okay, after that you have to pay the renewal fees. If you don't pay the renewal fees, it gets abandoned. Okay, once it gets abandoned, then you have to restore it. Okay, then you have to pay the restoration fees plus the renewal fees. Okay, section which applies here is section 25. The form R, you can remember R is renewal, R restoration, the form is TMR, fees is twice because now it has lapsed. Okay, so 9,000 plus 9,000, 18,000 fees you need to deposit. Deepika, that answers the question. Anybody else who want to ask any of the questions? I have 5 minutes of time. And I have got one message from a person that he is interested in mentorship program. Surely I have got your message and I'll be contacting you tomorrow morning and with full details that how you can join the mentorship program. Okay, anybody else who is still interested, my number is written. You can just WhatsApp because it's late now. And so yeah, we'll be starting our mentorship program. People who are already there, they need not to be do extra. People who are already enrolled, they will get it. People who are still new, they need mentorship. From 24th April till 30th April, your classes will be there in the morning. Okay, your classes will be there in the morning time. In the last week, it will be from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. will be a morning time from 24th of April till 30th of April for everyone. Okay. Ravi, if you have got the book, you should start with the basic book of trademark law. The basic book that gives the basic trademark. Okay. That you should start your preparation with. Okay. The mentorship program will be starting from 24th. That will be a crash course. Crash course will be covering all the important things which I have mentioned here. All the important topics we will be covering. All the important forms we will be covering. All the important sections with their interpretation examples will be covering. Some of the practice papers you will get access to so that you can solve the questions like this. These are some of the sample questions which I'm showcasing you. Okay. If you want to understand more about mentorship program, just do a WhatsApp. We will have a separate call for that to make you understand that what you're going to get. And rest people, I think there's some of the people who are already in my classroom. They are being listening to me every morning. They start their morning with my class. So you can share a feedback. How's the preparation going on with other students? And you can give one tip to them because I am giving the tips as a teacher, but you are a student, right? So you can write your own tip or advice for other students that how's the preparation going, what is difficult, what is not difficult. That will be helpful for everyone, right? So I always try to have a session where everybody is helping each other, right? So you don't have to compete with a small community, right? There's no fixed number of seats. This is a non-competitive exam. Everybody can pass. Okay. So this is all about it. I hope you like the session. If you like the session, you can give a little feedback that you like the session. This is a small session which I did to understand tips and tricks. And thank you so much. Thank you, Vikram. Thank you, Karthikeyan. Thank you, Preeti, for joining us today. And I hope all of you qualify the examination with flying colors. Okay. Thank you, Ravi Chawla. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, Jyoti Raman. Thank you, Madhuresh. Thank you, Mehak. Thank you, Abhijit Paul, Navneet Preeti, Karthikeyan, Sachin Paul for attending this session. Thank you, everyone. And I wish you all the very best for your examination. This is Cheshta Sharma from Indian Institute of Patent and Trademark. Keep shining.